16th,
This conference
2022.
will now be recorded.
And I'm calling the Ross Valley Public Financing Authority meeting to order. Julia, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you. Borstein?
Yes, ma'am.
Gaffney?
Present.
Meggs?
Yes.
Zilla?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes. Then may I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I move.
I'll take that as Tom first and Michael second. Thank you. Can I have a roll call on that, please?
Yes, thank you. Borstein?
Yes.
Gaffney?
Present.
Is that an I vote, Director Gaffney? To approve the agenda?
I thought it was a roll call or approval. I vote yes.
Thank you. Meggs?
Roll call on the agenda.
Yes.
Zilla?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes. Now is time for the public, open time for the public. Seeing no public here, I'm going to move on to number 4. Consider the approving of the meeting minutes of February 10th, 2021. Has anyone any issues with the meeting minutes of 2021? I'm going to take that as a no. And so I'm going to ask if we would have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 10th, 2021.
So moved.
I'll second.
Michael, thank you. And Tom, second. Thank you. Can we have a roll call on that motion to approve the minutes?
Thank you. Borstein?
Yes.
Gaffney?
Yes.
Meggs?
She's nodding yes, but she's on mute.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Zilla?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to move to item number 5, consideration of adopting resolution number PFA 22-1618, authorizing remote teleconference meetings of Ross Valley Public Financing Authority pursuant to the Brown Act. And that is our standard public meetings because of the COVID-19. And do we have any public, there's no public, do we have any board comments or questions about that? All right, seeing none, I'm going to ask for a motion for that, number 5. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I move we adopt resolution number PFA 221618.
Thank you, Mary.
Second.
And Tom, a second. Thank you. And can we have a vote on that?
Yes, thank you. Borstein?
Yes, please.
He's on. Yeah, there he goes.
Thank you. Gaffney?
Yes.
Meggs?
Yes.
Zilla?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Let's move on to number 6, consideration of accepting the fiscal year 2021 financial audit of the Ross Valley Public Financing Authority. Is that Steve or Tom? Steve or Felicia?
Yes, I'm going to ask Assistant General Manager Felicia Newhouse to introduce this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Director, President Kelly, and directors. This item was heard before the Finance Committee yesterday. This is the annual financial report for the Ross Valley Public Finance Authority. It was presented yesterday by our auditor, Paul Fan, with Chabon Associates. Sorry, he has not yet joined our meeting, but I can report a clean audit for this entity of the district. And I will note that the Finance Committee meeting, at the Finance Committee meeting yesterday, the Finance Committee members noted that the MBA, the Management Assessment and Analysis,
Felicia?
Yes?
Your sound is not great, and I can see Pam is having problems with that too. Is there something you can do, turn the computer closer or something to see if you can improve that?
Yes, let me try.
Okay.
Using a different microphone. Is this different?
Yeah, and better.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, that was an easy fix then.
Thank you.
Very good. So I was just saying that our Finance Committee noted yesterday that the MD&A is not included on the annual financial audit for the RVPFA, but it is included in the district's annual comprehensive financial report, and as well as, of course, the district's entire financial audit. So these two documents are typically viewed in conjunction with one another, but as required by our bond covenants, when we issued our bonds in 2018 and 2019, we were required to provide a separate annual financial report specifically for RVPFA, which is the purpose of this item in front of the RVPFA Board of Directors tonight. Corey, our finance supervisor, with us for the last about 5 weeks now, has joined us tonight. He was instrumental in helping the auditors put this document and the ACPR document for the Board of Directors and the district, which is on our next meeting's agenda, together. So I want to say thank you very much to Corey for the work that he's done on this, and both of us are available to answer any questions by the board.
Questions? Tom?
Well, I have a comment, and we
All right.
talked about it previously at our meeting yesterday, but on page 15 of the audit, there's note 5, long-term obligations, and we pointed out that this is very confusing. For example, the items labeled revenue bonds, like the 213, 14, there's a balance and then there's a payment. There are payments due. But then on the premium, there's not a payment due. So we're adding payments to amortization. And we suggested that they separate those. And they do, we talked about this many times in our previous financial committee meetings. It's according to standard accounting principles, but it's not useful and it's misleading. We don't owe money on the premiums. They're up on the asset, we got cash, so they had to, in double entry accounting, they had to create something in the liability down below, and so they're amortizing it. So it's, I think very confusing to add a cash item to an amortization. And so we asked our accountant if he could maybe make separate columns out of those. Now and other than that, of course, everything's very accurate, and it definitely is according to GASB rules, but it's confusing. That's my comment.
Thank you, Director Gaffney, and Corey and I did talk about the all of the feedback received from the Finance Committee yesterday, and have noted that specific comment, which will be implemented in future years.
Okay, that's great. Other than that, it looks like everything's in order, and we have a very good, clean accounting opinion by the auditor.
Thank you.
Are you with us, Doug?
Can you hear me?
Now we
I'm
can.
sorry. Yeah, sometimes my voice gets locked up, so I dialed in and I'm got my phone on mute. Tom, did you want to continue? Did you have something else? Because I didn't hear from the end of that.
I ended up with, or Felicia actually said they took note of our comments and will include it next year. And then I said that, other than just our comments, we have a completely clean audit, and I think we lost Doug again, and that our auditor gave us the full clean audit.
Okay, thank you. No, that's good. Any questions, Pam? No. Mary?
The only thing that caught my eye was this on page 2 of the independent auditor's report right at the beginning, this management has omitted the management's discussion and analysis. And, you know, most of this stuff, I'm grateful that Tom is on our board because I know he really, really understands it in detail. But when I read that management omitted something, I just wanted to know why. And obviously they say it's not, you know, it's not material basically.
I can address that.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me, yeah. Well, the reason for that, and I asked that myself, so great minds think alike. And the reason is because it's double duty and they already did it for the other audits. And to do this would be more time consuming. It's not required. It's not going to add anything except time and expense. But I had that was the only thing that stood out at me, Mary.
Yeah, I know. Well, everything.
I don't like that.
Yeah, everything else looks 100% packaged up and okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Did we instruct staff maybe to put, it isn't because it is, we could add a little term, because it is already included, this information or something like that? I think that would be.
No, we can't because it's their audit. We can't change their audit. But, and also it's not the exact same. It's so a smidgen off. Isn't that right? You can just nod, Steve or Felicia. It's so close, but it's not exactly. A comment on the Ross Valley Public Finance Authority is unbelievably close to the same as Ross Valley Sanitary District, but it's not the same.
No, I think it's the same enough.
Well, it's an interesting question and one we can certainly ask the auditor to respond to, because you're right, it is their letter. So it would ultimately be up to them whether or not they felt that they could include that or not. But it's a great question to ask.
And Felicia, why don't you look at what kind of time and or trouble it would be to have those management discussions and analysis for next year's Ross Valley Sanitary Public Financing Authority annual audit. Maybe it's the same as this year. That's not really worth it. But I don't want to. I want our auditors clean, and they're clean. So they said what they said. And again, what they said, Mary, is it's not unusual at all.
Will do.
They have anything else, Mary? Okay, Michael. Okay, so I had no. That was the only comment I had, and yes, I would agree with you, Mary. I'm glad that Tom is there because he has great questions and great analytics, and he's extremely helpful. That having been said, I would ask if we would accept the fiscal year financial audit. See if I can have a motion on that.
I move we accept the fiscal year 2021 financial audit of the Ross Valley Public Financing Authority.
Second.
Michael is seconding. Thank you. That can I have a vote on that, Julia?
Thank you. Borstein,
Yes.
Gaffney,
Yes.
Beggs, Villa,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Thank you.
And with that, I adjourn the Ross Valley Public Financing Authority. We have to change Zoom numbers. Is that correct?
Yes,
Julia,
it's a different link that's included in the email from last Friday.
Yep, I have that email, so I'm going to cancel or close the Ross Valley Public Financing Authority meeting, and this meeting's adjourned.